Welcome to Business Today.
Thank you so much for having me here, Denver. It's a pleasure.
Indeed. Let's talk about why this conference. It's billed as a continental event. Maybe just talk to us a little bit about the thinking that went into hosting it and hosting it in Namibia.
So my business partner, Mr. Paulinus Shihama, it was the one who was the brainchild behind this concept. And his thinking originally was that cybersecurity is on the rise everywhere you go, you know.
Right.
It's not just an African problem, it's a global problem.
Right.
What is being done to try and bring people together such that we can put out these fires? Because it's almost as if everyone is working in their own silos. There's nobody to bring everyone together to say, listen, let us be organized, let us be structured about this approach, and let us educate one another so that we can reduce the risk.
Right. And so yeah, you mentioned that, and there's a lot of fear-mongering, I guess, that comes with that as well. Now, cybersecurity can sound pretty technical. Maybe just talk to us from a business perspective. What does cybersecurity actually protect?
Okay, so when you think about the fact that we live in a digital age, you have a cell phone. Can you imagine losing your cell phone today? I mean, what would go through your mind? It's your contacts, it's the memories of your loved ones.
Right.
A lot of people almost go through a depression, you know, when the cell phone gets damaged. Yeah. Now, if we take it up a level, you're a business owner. What are you going to do if hackers get a hold of your system and say, listen, unless you pay us a certain amount of money, you are not going to be able to do anything with your computer.
Right.
Take it a step even further. What if they now start emailing your clients? Listen, you haven't paid for this invoice. You need to pay this money now, and
Right.
you have no control over the system.
Right.
And I would say, even if we take it even further, I think about the last two Mission Impossible movies, you know, where the villain is now AI, and that just really blew my mind. So
Right.
the potential consequences are great, and they touch each and every single one of us.
Now, we see incidents every now and again in the newspapers. Maybe you can just break it down as far as how it is classified, because we have phishing,
Yes.
where folks are sort of getting you to reveal information. But then you also have, like you mentioned now, withholding of service, or how do you call it, those types. Maybe just break it down for us. What are the tools in the hands of cyber criminals?
So when you think about cyber criminals, they will use any single tool that they can use at their discretion. It could be something as simple as you getting a letter from your employer, you know, NBC television.
Right.
And, you know, it's your pay slip. You know what it is every month. What do? You crumple it up, you throw it into the bin.
Right.
Cyber criminals even go to the extent of rummaging through your rubbish bin. They'll pick out those details, and next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you're getting a phone call. Mr. Denver, I just want to make sure that I'm speaking to the correct person. Your ID number is there. They mention details that in your mind, wait a minute, but this person would not know this information if they are not, if they don't actually know me.
Right.
Cybersecurity can even go to the extent, cyber crime can even go to the extent of your child being in a romantic relationship with another person. And you know how our children are. Sometimes they send inappropriate content to one another.
Right, right.
They get a message on one of these social media platforms. They click on the link, and what happens? Their phone gets hacked. Now they get a message saying, listen, if you don't go to your parents' wallet and take a photo of their credit card, front and back, I'm going to expose you to the world.
Right.
So it's not just this image that we have of people sitting behind computers, basically acting. They use any means that they can use to try and extort money from you.
Sure. So, so actually, trauma is no issue. I mean,
No.
They can go for all of that. So Africa's digital economy is said to be growing quite rapidly, but then, so as you said, are cyber threats. Maybe are there lessons Namibia can learn from other countries that will be represented at this conference?
I think the greatest lesson that we should learn from this conference is that we need to come together as one. This is one of the reasons why we're trying to bring policymakers, we're trying to bring people who are involved in law enforcement, business owners, even the local person, you know, your humble grandmother, students, academic professionals, because what we need to do is to try and develop a framework that is going to protect us as Africans. You mentioned that Africa's digital framework is growing. The challenge that we have is that it's growing so fast, we as cybersecurity professionals can't keep up.
Right.
So
and there's AI now thinking at
oh
levels, faster levels than humans. Okay.
Exactly.
But go on.
Yes.
So then how does this conference then position Namibia within the regional and the international cybersecurity space? What's the benefit there?
Namibia is the first country that is essentially the brainchild of this conference. This is the third time that we're hosting it. We are getting better as we go along, and we are not necessarily the best in Africa in terms of cybersecurity, nor are we the worst. We're sitting somewhere in that sweet spot in the upper 25%, I would say. Now, what positions us as a strategic key holder is the fact that we have successfully brought professionals and lay people from all over the globe, all over Africa, to come and sit under one roof. When you think about cybersecurity in Africa, you think of the Namibia International Cybersecurity Conference. And as a result of that, that unity and the partnerships that we have made, we are already steps ahead of the others who might try to come in right now.
All right. You mentioned it a little bit on the costs of cyber threats to companies, but maybe just delve a little bit deeper into what is the real cost of cyber incidents for companies when we talk financially, operationally, and then reputationally?
Oh my goodness. The costs will go, let me put it this way. However much money they can get out of you is what they're going to do. What a lot of, is what they're going to try and steal. Take, for example, situations, or rather the belief that many people have, which is a misconception, that hackers will access your network and then immediately start trying to extort you. No, 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 no. These guys are so patient and so organized. They will sometimes stay on your network for 6 to 12 months, monitoring your emails, seeing where the money is going. So when they send you that email saying, listen, we have captured your system, if you want it back and they're asking for money, they know exactly how much money to ask for.
Yeah.
They're not going to be pulling figures out of the blue. If you have 100,000, they're going to ask that 100,000. Yes.
Right. So then, also to be represented at this conference are your policymakers.
Yes.
So now we're talking about government.
That's
and now
correct.
we're talking about critical infrastructure. We're talking about energy, telecommunications, finance, government systems, increasingly targeted by cyber attacks. But then, how will the conference address the protection of national and regional critical infrastructure?
That's a brilliant question. Let me put it within this context. So imagine you have a person sitting in country A, cyber criminal. This person is caught, and that country's rules, laws, regulations are so well structured that they can be prosecuted, quite effectively.
Right.
Now, remember, cybersecurity is something that works across the globe. It's not just limited to one country. In country B, you now have a cyber criminal who steals money from people in country A. Country A that says, listen, we know who it is. Mr. Michael is the one that hacked into our computers. Please go and arrest him. If those countries don't even have a framework to even define what cybersecurity is, how are they even going to arrest them? You get to the police station, how do you even register that crime? Is the judge who is even adjudicating case, do they even know what some of these terms are?
Right, right.
Policymakers need to make laws that can protect us, but if they don't even understand what all of this language means and how these things work, how will they be able to make informed decisions? So we need to get everybody in together as one to make sure that what we have is a fortified solution.
All right. So what would you then, in your view, what would be the different roles as far as what is the role of government versus the private sector in strengthening cybersecurity?
So when it comes to government, what I would say is that they need to attend our conference. I'm not trying to promote, but I really mean this genuinely, because they need to learn and partner with other countries so that we're not just working in a silo alone. So what government needs to do is they also need to educate their own staff members as well, because the biggest threat to cybersecurity, or within cybersecurity, is actually the human element. We need support in terms of the laws, the policies, and even being able to prosecute. Now, in terms of the private sector, what we need as well is we need to educate them on how to protect themselves as well, because when you think about it from a monetary point of view or an investment point of view, the amount of money and the investors that we can start getting into Namibia will definitely, in my opinion, increase if they believe that it is a country that is secure from a cybersecurity point of view.
Right.
Investors don't have to worry, oh, if I put money there, tomorrow hackers could come in, steal it, or steal my information.
Right.
Sometimes cybersecurities aren't always after the money directly. Even information is also important. So our government also needs to make sure that we are protected.
All right. So then, but also invited at this conference is your academics and your youth. Let's talk about how important collaboration with universities are and training institutions and startups in this space.
They are of the utmost importance. When we think about the impact that our youth has, you know, there is an old Chinese saying, I'm paraphrasing, but it says the best time to grow a tree was 100 years ago. The second best time is now.
Sure.
The sooner we start developing academic programs that are in tune and up to date with the latest technology, and we start bringing up the youth with this knowledge, with this wisdom regarding cybersecurity, the more secure we're going to be going forwards. So, for example, I remember watching a video on YouTube many years ago about how in India, they teach young kids from as early as 3 or 4 to handle snakes. Why?
Sure.
Because they know that in certain places there are many snakes in that area.
Right.
So they prepare themselves, they give them lifelong skills. Now, if we take that same approach and start educating our youth, we will not have a situation where we have today where our grandmothers, grandfathers are losing large sums of money with no way to protect themselves.
Right.
We want to start off young and then bring them up.
All right.
Yes.
So in the meantime, I think cybersecurity remains a bit of a niche field for some. But so what are the opportunities for young Namibians as far as employment and such? Maybe just speak to us about what the opportunities in cybersecurity are.
You know, it's interesting that you should ask that question. So originally, I come from an IT background. Although over the past few years with the new stream that I'm doing now, training, and so on and so forth,
right.
I haven't touched the IT side in many years, so I've even forgotten most of what I learned at university.
Right.
Now, having attended the last 2 cybersecurity conferences, I was blown away by the amount of opportunity that is actually there. We have so many young people that are saying there are no jobs, there is no employment within the country, and cybersecurity is one of the areas, even from a certification point of view, where it has a fairly low barrier to entry. There are online websites where you can take a whole course that will teach you how to hack, how to protect, basic networks. So all you need essentially is just a laptop, access to the internet, and the willingness to put in the time and the effort. With the introduction of AI, and cyber, and its impact it has on cybersecurity. Right now, we need more cybersecurity professionals than ever. We cannot supply the amount of people that are actually required. So it's a great opportunity for people to seek employment.
All right. Would have liked to gotten more into it, but maybe let's just, before we wrap up, go into a little bit of logistics.
Yes.
Are the dates set? Maybe just give us the dates, the venue.
Wonderful. So the dates are definitely set. It's going to start from Wednesday, the 22nd of April, all the way to Friday, the 24th of April. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that we're in negotiations with ISACA is that we want to have a cybersecurity training, hopefully 1 or 2 days before the conference. And what that's going to do is if you're an organization and you have people who are registered with ISACA and you want to get the cybersecurity qualification, we are going to give companies the opportunity. We're bringing the mountain to Mohammed.
There's some value
You don't have to
right
go
there.
to Africa. Yes, so come in, but the dates are set. We're still just trying to negotiate the training, so it's not definite yet, but we are almost 95% sure that it will definitely take place.
All right. Well, Michael,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming through tonight and sharing some of that information.
Thank you for having me on Denver, and it's been a pleasure being your guest.
Indeed.